big news tonight coming out of Arizona. Remember that Senate race out there? Well, the race is still too close to call to NBC News. Democrat Kyrsten Sinema, the Democrat, is now taking the lead with over only 2,000 votes separating her from Republican Martha McSally, who we thought was winning. Now it looks like Sinema's winning. That's a big deal for the U.S. Senate. It's going to cut Trump's big victory over there to maybe 1 or 2. Tuesday's election was a national referendum, of course, on Donald Trump's presidency. And with a majority of voters making clear they want to keep him in check, Democrats continue to rack up victories in the House, picking up 3 more seats today, including a seat once held by Newt Gingrich down in Georgia in the donut down there. Republican Karen Handel, who won this seat in a special election in 2017 against a guy who didn't live in the district, can they now concede it to somebody who does? There's a trick. All politics is local. Live in the district you run in. Lucy McBath does. She won. Democrats are on track to gain an astounding 35 to 40 seats, according to NBC now. This is the most significant pickup for the Democratic Party since the post-Watergate election, electing all those Watergate babies back in 1974. David Wasserman, House editor for the Cook Political Report, tweeted that a clearer picture is emerging of a true post-election beatdown, I don't know where you get that phrase, of House Republicans. Anyway, Presidents Clinton, Bush, and Obama suffered similar defeats during their midterm elections, but had decidedly different responses. Let's watch.
With the Democrats in control of both the White House and the Congress, we were held accountable yesterday, and I accept my share of the responsibility in the result of the elections.
Look, this is a close election. If you look at race by race, it was close. The cumulative effect, however, was not too close. It was a thumping.
This is something that I think every president needs to go through because the responsibilities of this office are so enormous, and so many people are depending on what we do. Now, I'm not recommending for every future president that they take a shellacking like I did last night.
So all 3 of these presidents got a shellacking, as President Obama put it, and they learned from their lesson. They made course corrections. Some more drastic than others, and they got reelected. In contrast, here was President Trump yesterday.
I think my message was very well received. I mean, just look at the results. Midterm elections are disasters for sitting presidents and administrations. This has been a very successful, and look, you can write it any way you want, and if you disagree with me, this has been an incredibly successful. I was very well received by this great country.
For more, I'm joined by Zerlina Maxwell, Director of Progressive Programming for SiriusXM, which I listen to all the time, and John Podhoretz, a Commentary Magazine editor itself. You know, I got to go with Zerlina because you were laughing. I mean, this reminds me of his crowd size estimates after the inauguration, saying mine was bigger than his, the whole ridiculous thing.
He's doing a great job in his own mind. But America on Tuesday told us that they do not like the direction of the country. That matches the exit polling data, and right direction, we're on track. But also, I think what it showed is women who came out the day after Trump was sworn in. A million of us took to the streets and said, we reject this and what this means, particularly
now we have
after the Access Hollywood tape.
Now we have 100 women in the House.
And now we have 100 women in the House.
I want to cut you off for a second because I got to go to Podhoretz and then back to you about this question. You know, this battle of who won, who lost, well, it's clearly the president lost in the House, 35 to 40 seats. But in the Senate, he's been doing a big me. You know, look at me. I got all these new Senate. Well, one he didn't get, he thought he got, apparently, is McSally didn't win. But clearly hasn't won yet out in Arizona.
Well, he didn't.
Sinema has got ahead now.
He targeted John Tester heavily in Montana.
That scalp he wanted.
He desperately wanted that scalp because he was mad at Tester for attacking his doctor, whom he tried to, put in as the head of Veterans Affairs. And he didn't get the Tester scalp. What he got was pretty significant majorities for people in the Trump states that we all expected were going to fall, right? So
Ruby Red stayed Ruby Red.
Ruby Red, and he got very big numbers there. Josh Hawley won by 12 in Missouri.
But Arizona is red.
Right,
Arizona's red, and it looks like it's going to be blue before the week is out.
Well, so we don't know that. But I'm struck by the fact that the dramaturgy of this on Wednesday, had Florida not been an early state to report, and we saw that big flip, right, where the Democrats seem to have lost, right, although now we're doing all this recounting. Had Florida come in at 10 or 10:30 instead of 7, it would have looked like the Democrats were just rolling across the country very happily and very easily. It was that weird psychodrama of Florida in 2016, 8 o'clock at night.
How about people taking the long view and staying up till 11 o'clock at night?
Right.
I'm sorry.
But no,
I predicted in April the Democrats would win 30 to 40. As it got close to the election, they said, looks like 40. I think I'm going to be right. But Carville comes on and says, James Carville's a smart guy. And he comes on and says, he comes on like Jacob Marley, like it's all over.
He did it. Van Jones did it. It was just
everybody did it.
Right. So imagine
Week
the
of
night
hard
without.
Democrats. Why are Democrats so nervous? They were all going in this election. Oh, we're going to do it again like 16. We're going to blow it. We're going to blow. What is that nervousness? PTSD? What is it?
Well, Democrats they don't like to be. Well, for me, it was PTSD. I definitely was in the fetal position at around 8 o'clock.
You're pretty young, but you've been through other elections where you thought you'd win, and you did win.
Right.
It wasn't like 16 is the only election in history.
Well, it's just the most recent one in memory, and so that is very, very fresh.
There were a lot of complications with Hillary. There are just too many, and Comey and everything.
So early in the night on Tuesday just felt a little bit like 2016, but the difference is that women saw what happened in 2016, and they stepped up themselves. I think the big message from this election is not just that women won, but that women chose to step up and run for office.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.